Hey everyone, welcome back to She Burbs Podcast. I am your host, Brooke Wright.
Hey everyone, welcome back to She Burbs Podcast. Today's guest is Cory. Hi, Cory. I can't hear you.
Hi, Brooke. How are you?
Okay, now I can hear you. I'm great. Thank you so much for being a guest today on my podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. Sorry for the little technical difficulties here.
It's all right. So Cory is a recording artist and he's a songwriter. So can you tell our listeners what inspired you to become a musician?
Well, I think basically I could probably sum it up in one word: passion. I don't know if that's a crazy passion or just a passion that I've had my whole life since probably 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Are we getting a bit of echo?
No, I'm not. Are you?
Oh, I think I was hearing myself a bit. Oh, there it's gone now. Okay. So yeah, passion is really my number one thing. When I started, I loved music from an early age. So I started like semi-professionally around 13, like learning guitar and bass guitar. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really, what got me started. I mean, just that, loved growing up listening to old like 45 records and stuff on my mom's old stereo back in the day when I was like a young kid. And then, when I got into high school, got really into like melodic rock and a lot of like hair band metal stuff and stuff like that from Los Angeles in my high school days. So I think passion really describes it.
Oh, so what was your favorite music? Like, who was your favorite bands and stuff?
Well, it started, like I said, at an early age with bands like the Beach Boys when I was younger, and also some country stuff. Like when I was listening to music when I was a kid, there was like Kenny Rogers and Johnny Cash and all that sort of stuff on the local radio stations. And so that kind of was where I got started there. But I mean, all sorts of stuff as I got older into music and, played more professionally. Anything like it was melodic rock and radio friendly rock stuff and a lot of pop in the beginning, like Duran Duran and stuff like that from way back. And, and then like folk rock later on and country rock and just different stuff.
Nice. I remember my first experience with a musician. I met Travis. I forgot his name. Travis. He has a really unique voice. I forgot his name. I know it's Travis something. And
a country artist, you mean?
Yeah.
Travis Tritt?
No. It was a very unique voice. Like it was deep.
Oh, Randy Travis?
Randy. Yeah, Randy Travis. Him. Yeah. So I met him, like I was working at a retail place and he had came through my line and I was like, you have a very unique sounding voice. Like his voice was very unique, like him talking. And I was like, you look really familiar. And he was like, well, yeah. And I'm just like staring at him. And I was like, oh my God, like it finally clicked. And he was just in the line and nobody was like rushing over to him or anything. I'm like, you're like a really big celebrity and like nobody's hounding him or anything. Like it's just normal. So that was
very down to earth. That's cool.
Yeah. So what do you like most about playing music?
Well, it's just that I've always got that feeling from like, performing music. It's like if you like, I've never been into drugs or any like, really thing heavy like that. But if you could compare it to like a high that you get from music, I don't think there's any other high that I would ever get from anything than playing music for people and writing and recording my own songs, that kind of thing, when you can resonate with people and hit people in the heart or wherever, where it counts for certain things. And I think that's what really means a lot to me. So.
Yeah. So do you ever have any concerts like before COVID? Did you go to perform any concerts or anything?
Yeah, I've kept pretty regular, even this last year I had, I guess, three outdoor smaller like acoustic type private shows at the end of the summer this year. But I try to keep busy. I've got a show coming up actually on December the 5th here in Ontario in my province. It's about a 4.5 hour drive from my home. So it's closer to Toronto, where I'm south of Ottawa in Ontario. So I've got a show coming up at the 400 Flea Market, which is a very big, huge flea market on the Highway 400 outside of Toronto area. And they've set up a stage called the Indie Distributor Stage, and it's for a lot of independent artists to get back and showcase their music again. So, but I mean, I've been busy up until, I try to stay regular around my local Eastern Ontario region and perform as much as I can.
Oh, nice. So do you ever like live stream your music, like perform live stream and like charge people or anything? Like, did you ever do that live streaming?
Well, I did a couple live streams. I guess it would have been in 2020. So when we were kind of, isolated at home and stuff. And so I did a couple with the Hanging with Web show folks of mine, like friends of mine that I know, and they put on a couple things. They're based out of Orlando, Florida. So I did one with them a couple times, actually, where we streamed about a half an hour sort of concerts from home with a lot of other independent artists that were affiliated with the Hanging with Web show people. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So can you describe your creative process when you write new music?
Well, I don't know if it's a process. I think it's different for every song. I get that question quite a lot. So there's no cookie cutter way that I kind of like, write songs as a formula. I think they kind of drop in, from the spirit sort of thing. And then I let the idea run. I let the idea take me where it's going to take me instead of me trying to, take something somewhere else. Oftentimes, if you try to take something somewhere, it just kind of leads you away from where the whole original feeling came from when you write a song. So for me, I think, like I say, it's different for everything. And a lot of times it's family inspiration. And sometimes it's just, things that I see or hear or read that can be influencing in the writing, and oftentimes it's telling a good story. So.
Nice. So what instruments do you play? Like, I see your piano back there. Is that a keyboard? Sorry.
Yeah, that's just a little
other instruments.
Yeah, that's a little cheap keyboard I had for a few years. I dabble on the keyboard. I had my daughter play a little bit. She likes to get on there. She's 7.5. Once in a while she'll dabble on it. But my main instrument's always been I started as a bass player, but then I've always played guitar as well. So I always had a 6-string acoustic kicking around. Always wrote songs, or little ideas when I started on guitar. So I would say now guitar is my main instrument for sure, and bass guitar I've always played as well. So.
Oh, nice. So can you tell?
A little bit of mandolin once in a while, but nothing,
That's cool. That's sweet. So can you tell our listeners about your favorite performance in your career?
Oh wow, my favorite performance. Well, if I go back, I've been doing music for probably close to 30 years, semi-professionally and professionally combined. So there's been so many shows over the years, and there's quite a few memorable ones. But if there's one show, I don't know. I mean, I got the chance to perform in Los Angeles for the LA Music Awards about 7 years ago in 2014. The Whiskey A Go-Go. Yeah, so that was pretty neat. It was a showcase for the nomination night. So that was almost surreal for me, a little kid from Ontario, Canada, way back in the day growing up, and just getting the chance to be on the stage in Los Angeles with, a lot of those bands that I grew up listening that had performed there was kind of surreal. So that was neat.
So do you keep in touch with any of those bands that you performed with?
That I performed with? Well, I didn't get to perform with many of the ones that were my heroes or anything like that, but there's a lot of musicians in my local Eastern Ontario region that I've kept in touch with, and members that I've got to record with, and who've been sort of some regular guys of mine on and off for the last few years, played in my live band and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's great. So what is your favorite song to perform? I know you love all your songs, but what's your favorite song?
Yeah, they kind of become like your kids, right? When you write,
right.
When you write songs, but there's so many. So, but I don't know. I think probably the last couple releases that I've done. I mean, Freedom Road's the new single. Obviously, it's one of those songs that I spent a lot of time this last year really honing that song and getting the message out. I think it's important, the message in that one, to not take freedom for granted right now. So that's a really special one. I haven't got a chance to perform it live yet, so we're hoping for that in about a week and a half to be able to do that acoustically at least. So there was an EP I did a couple of years ago. Well, I guess it was 2020. It was the 33 and a third EP, which had the singles Leavin' and Good Times Gone. So those are two pretty fresh songs as well, less than 2 years ago. So those stand out as some pretty fun ones to play. And then I have a song called Crumbs from way back when I started recording my own original stuff in about 2004. That's a big crowd song. It's called Crumbs. It's sort of like a storytelling Southern rock sort of feel to it. And, so it's a very crowd participation oriented song.
That's cool. So can you tell our listeners what inspired Freedom Road?
Well, like I said, I think it talks about just not taking freedom for granted and the simple things in life. Because I think we all know freedom doesn't come without a cost, right? So And if there's like, I tend to feel, and a lot of people maybe have felt, especially in my current situation in Canada, there's a lot of built up frustration, maybe anger, just about the things that we're all going through right now in the past 20 months. So it's gotten to a point where I think people are just, they're tired. And I think it sort of touches on that frustration, the fear and stuff like that too. So, but I think it's, it's important to stand up for the things you believe in. And I think that's what this song represents too. So.
Yes, that's good. And you're right. In the past 2 years, it's been a lot of bad things. Like domestic violence went up and child abuse went up. Everything went up. And I'm like, wow, all because. So yeah, people definitely need to hear this song now.
Crazy times.
Oh yeah. So what advice would you give our listeners who want to pursue a music career such as yourself?
Well, I like to say to people that you should always surround yourself with a great team of people and people you can trust. So you need that sort of, great circle of strength from people that who believe in you and that you can believe in them, and there's no mistrust anywhere. And, there's a lot of people in the industry that really aren't out for anything but themselves, and you have to be careful and watch out for that. So you learn as you go along. I've been in the industry for, like I said, probably 25, 30 years professionally. So you learn a lot, and you learn to just surround yourself with the right people.
Yes, definitely. That's really great advice, because I was speaking to a musician who he was starting out and he got out of it because of things in his life that weren't like inspiring him. And that's the same advice I gave him. Like, surround yourself with people who are going to, be there for you and listen to you and, be creative towards your music and like your music. You know what I'm saying? Like, not like it, but, like be there for you,
Exactly.
And so hopefully he does.
Yeah, I think you always have to speak your truth and your honesty in your art or your music, because I think if you don't, I think people can see through it. And if it's fake, a lot of people know right away. So I think if you're true to yourself, true to what you do, it's going to resonate with everyone else, and they're going to pick up on that. So
yeah,
that's great advice as well from you. So
yeah, definitely. I want to thank you so much, Cory, for coming on my podcast today and chatting with me about your music.
Thank you very much, Brooke, for having me. It's been a great time here. I appreciate
it. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, I want to thank you all so much for listening to my interview with Cory. So if you would like to listen to his music and his new single, he is on all platforms. He is on Apple Music. He is on Spotify, and I've linked his website below. It's Tinkering Below. So that's my website, but his website is within my website. So if you go to my website, you can see where it says Cory's website and click on there, and it'll have his upcoming shows, what he has going on, and anything else you may have questions about, then just contact him on there. I want to thank you all so much for listening to my podcast, and thank you all so much for supporting me. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope you all have a great day and make great choices. Bye.